And action.
Tell me how my location is.
You're great, right there.
Am I located appropriately?
You are. Just.
Do you know what? Santa sits wherever Santa wants to sit.
Huh?
I said Santa sits wherever Santa wants to sit.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta speak up because we're not.
Okay.
Right, well, I have this thing on, but my hair's up.
I like it. You could put it behind your ears.
I could. Oh, gosh.
Your elf ears.
I gotta look at the... Oh, yeah, that's bad. All right. We'll just handle. We'll handle. All right, guys.
All right, hey everybody, how we doing? Merry Christmas, post Merry Christmas.
Post Merry Christmas.
It's the day after, right? For full disclosure, everybody knows. And we're here at the Loft in NOLA. We had a really nice time.
Awesome time.
Awesome dinner with the Vodakoviches, the lovely Deborah and Johnny and
Made
their family.
perfect turkey and awesome chocolate cake that like rocked your world beyond.
And, like you know how I have issues with chocolate cake.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys know that I've been like really good lately, but like I went off. I didn't like fall. I fell off the wagon,
but
I
you did it
got
on
drugged down the
purpose.
street by the wagon too.
Yeah.
It like drugged me all the way down the street. But I loved every minute of it.
But you also planned it. You were like,
Yeah,
today's gonna be bad.
yeah. Today
Like,
was gonna be a bad day, so
Yeah.
I kind of was ready to. Am I sitting too close? I feel like
No,
I'm
you're
like
great.
hogging the camera. or
No,
something
you're
like
great.
this.
You're great.
You guys see what I'm doing?
You've got a really
Anyways.
wide frame, so we're good.
Okay. I have a wide frame. Anyways, guys, so we got to jam through this. Today is kind of tight. I'm flying out. It's been a super duper brief one. Laura Morgan's got clients to work with. She's got to solve dog problems
Yes.
around the world.
Major.
And so we can only spend a few minutes with you. So that means we're doing a truncated 3-question extravaganza.
Yeah.
Right? But they're going to be good. But it'll be good for you guys because that means you can get back to your families.
Yeah,
right? You don't
that's
need
what
to
you
spend
really need.
you don't need to spend all day with us
Right.
on Q&A Saturday. You can check in with us, get a little flavor, find out about the chocolate cake debacle, and then you can get back to your family and friends and have some fun. So, that said, hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog who's squinting from this light coming in. And to the right of me, actually, this is Sean from The Good Dog, aka Santa Claus. And this is the lovely Elvin, Laura Morgan, to my right. Yes, you look so cute in this hat. And all of this, whatever this stuff
Wonderful
is,
stuff, yep.
is the Good Dogs Q&A Saturday episode number
I don't know what episode it is. 63.
3.
Okay,
Boom.
but it's kind of like 62 and a half because we're not doing a full episode. So we just want to make sure that.
Right, and we're gonna answer. Do you need these questions? by the way?
Oh, I'll grab them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna answer some more questions next week. So you guys, there were a lot of awesome questions this week.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer we can't get to them all, but it's just a time thing.
Yep.
So next week we'll jump in. Laura will, what do we do, like speed rounds and stuff?
Yeah,
maybe?
we'll do maybe like a quick speed
Jam
round at the
into a
end.
bunch.
Yep.
So you guys that asked all those awesome questions, don't feel bad, don't feel left out because we'll get to them next week when we have more time.
Yeah.
And will that be New Year's or close?
It's going to be right after New Year's. It's going to be the
Goodness.
second.
So we'll probably look a wreck. So it'll be another like.
That's so true.
Rolling
Are you
in
doing
like
something
it.
crazy for New Year's?
No, I never do anything crazy.
Oh, why'd you say we're going to look a wreck?
I don't know. It's New Year's. I think I'm reaching
Stuck.
into past memories of New Year's. New Year's past when I was a bad boy, but now I'm a good boy and I don't do any of that stuff.
I'm going to a party to see my good friend who lives in France, who's now 3-4 months pregnant. And
Larissa,
she's just,
right?
yeah, Larissa's just coming back for, she always does like a New Year's party. And so it's like we play charades
where's it at?
and we do. It's in Orange County.
Okay.
In
Is it
Irvine.
like some kind of fancy place? or-
No, it's just her house. And we literally like play charades and drink like, Manhattans or whatever. And
Sophisticated
yeah,
beverages.
exactly.
The sophisticated ladies.
but she's pregnant, so
Awesome.
no Manhattans.
Oh yeah, so you'll get all the Manhattan.
Maybe I
Right?
will.
So we'll see how the little elf does post New Year's Eve. It'll be like this. Anyways, let's jump into this because we got stuff to do
Let's do it.
and we got to rock and roll. You want to ask the first question?
Oh yeah. The most exciting thing though, just to talk about really quick, is the e-collar DVD.
Oh my God.
What's wrong with you?
Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah.
It's like the biggest thing
Yeah,
ever.
tell them all about it.
Well, basically
Let me
yesterday,
get a glass of water. Go.
okay, midday, we released our e-collar DVD. We've already sold a bunch, which is awesome for us. And
awesome for them.
yeah, and awesome for you guys, but awesome for us because you never know, like, you put all this time and money and like over a year of stuff into it, and then you're like, what if no one shows up?
What if they don't come?
So it's all good. But yeah, people bought it and we were excited about that. So we're just waiting, you know, to see what the feedback is, because obviously it's like a 30-day, basically like a 30-day process, step by step, phase by phase, like really slow moving process to get your dog from point A, which is an untrained, e-collar trained dog,
Yeah.
to point B, which is like fully trained, fully off-leash trained inside the house, all of the behaviors, e-collar, you know, start to finish. And we really wanted to make it like a board and train that you do at home. So it's $150 for the download, but the reality is like you can fully off-leash train your dog, which
It's a screaming deal, in other words.
yeah, which
The amount of stuff that we put into it, like not to toot our own horn, but Laura wrote a 90-page PDF, right? 90 pages?
I didn't write the 90-page PDF. We
Well-
wrote it
well,
together.
yeah, but I mean, you like, right. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry.
I formatted it a lot and
yeah,
did a
but you
lot
also
of
put a
writing.
lot.
Yeah.
You put a lot. It was kind of your baby, right?
Yes, yes.
I participated,
Yes.
and Brittany helped, but like you were kind of tasked with
Yes,
making that,
yeah.
putting that together.
Just like
So-
last time, the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that like makes me want to scream and jump out a window.
Yeah.
So like without you there'd be no PDF. There'd
Right,
be like,
right.
thanks, and I hope you enjoy the DVD. And don't forget to put the e-collar on.
Right.
So anyways, guys, it's out. It's really been almost a full year of
It
work.
has been a full year.
It's been a full year of us putting this together, and that's, you know, it's 5 hours of footage, so it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And unlike a lot of like DVDs or instructional stuff, we worked really hard to try and put all the behaviors in there, not to like overwhelm you, but to make sure you can go at your own pace and
Yeah.
you can get sit, down, place, recall, thresholds, healing on leash, reactivity issues. Well, I know in the PDF we covered some behavior issues and things like that, but we go all the way from the beginning teaching with soft, low pressure and guidance all the way to the corrective phase, which honestly, I haven't seen anywhere, and that was our big goal.
Yeah.
And for me, I know when I was learning, I couldn't find any of these resources. I know there's a few DVDs out there, but I couldn't find any resources that really like step by step all the way, the whole process,
Yeah.
showed it in a way that I could figure it out. Well, none of them showed the corrective process. That's kind of like the part that always gets left out. So our goal was to really be transparent and show the whole process in a really easy way and fair way for you and your dog. So
Yep.
we're pretty damn proud of it, and I hope you guys really dig it. And so we'll just have to wait and see
Yeah.
what everybody thinks.
Just
you
let
know?
us know if you
If they
did
start
buy
piling up on the porch, we'll know that like, hey,
it. They're downloads, so they pile up in
they
the
can't.
email.
That's right.
Yeah,
You can't pile them up on the porch. Anyways.
All right,
So-
guys, so that's it. We're gonna jump in. Question number 1 comes from Raquel Peterson Gastiera.
Hey, Raquel.
Raquel's awesome. She's a big fan and she's does her own thing. That's awesome.
She trained, right?
Yeah. She says, hey guys, love your videos. You're both awesome. Here's my question. A friend of mine has 2 pitties. Both love the water but get way too excited around it, almost to the point that they can even get into a nasty, almost fight over it. I've been working to condition them with the pool being around it, but I'd like your input on how to correctly do this. I thought e-collar conditioned first with each, but I'm not sure how to handle it once they're in water. Should we go step by step with each separately? One of them gets excited on walks and sometimes charges fences that have other dogs on the other side, but off leash she's calmer and social. I appreciate your help in advance. You guys are amazing.
Okay, Raquel. So we've got like arousal issues in general, it sounds like, right? So there's walk issues and things like that. So you don't just have a pool thing, you really have a little bit of kind of more
Overall.
comprehensive, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing, like if you sent your dogs to us for board and train, to be perfectly frank, my name's not really Frank.
Your name's not Frank.
To be perfectly honest with you, if you sent your dogs to us for board and train and you said like they got major pool issues, we don't have a pool and we wouldn't even like go after that, like,
Yeah.
and we'd probably not have an issue.
Right.
And the reality is that we'd work on arousal like kind of comprehensively over the whole big picture, and making
Yeah.
sure that your dogs learn how to have impulse control, on and off switch, all that. And I don't want to be super vague and like, well, this is what we would do. But what I'd say is that if they're e-collar trained, or if you're going to e-collar train them, do everything: sit down, place, recall, e-collar heel, especially if you've got reactivity on the walks. Work on a ton of duration work. Work on and off switch, which is where you get these pitties really excited and play, and then down or place,
Or
and then
recall or-
boom, right? But get them to where they learn how to be up in the space, and then boom, turn it off like that. That kind of impulse control muscles that they can build will help them in a lot of different contexts.
Yeah.
So that's the more comprehensive. That's what we would do. And then if you still had problems, like you got your dogs home, you're like, they're still a little weird around the pool, which they wouldn't be. This would be the other part of the situation that I would suggest. They're e-collar trained. They know how to recall. I'd start one dog at a time, 6-foot leash. I'd walk out towards the pool, and I would let the dog, whichever dog you've got, start to get, excited that whatever they do, they probably like start to pull, if they're on leash, start to pull towards the pool, and recall them back.
Yep.
Recall them back. Take a step forward, recall them back. Take a step forward, recall them back. Every time they get comfortable with that distance, you're 50 feet away, recall them back. I'm sorry, every time they get comfortable, take a step forward. When they get uncomfortable and they start to get aroused, recall them back. Use whatever levels necessary on the e-collar that your dogs value, recall them back, recall them back. What you'll see is as you do this, and I'm talking about like, these recalls would be like, break, they start to move, come, break, come. It could be that quick, boom, 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 right? They're going like this. What happens is, I want this, I want this, I want this, and this is the pool, and what they start doing is, I gotta recall, I gotta recall, I gotta recall. We do it with squirrels, we do it with dogs, we do it with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So once you get that, on a short, like 6-footer, then you put them on a long line and you start recalling them with you at a greater distance. So they start to get a different psychological perspective that they recall away from the pool even when you're not right next to them.
Right.
You do that over and over and over again. Recall them like right up to the steps. Oh my goodness, I'm almost in. Boom, recall them back. Then you let them get into the pool and you recall them out of the pool, recall them out of the pool, recall them out of the pool. I'm telling you, you do this process and you do it for a week with these guys, you do it individually, and then you put them together, you'll have dogs that are very different around the pool. And then all you do is recall them out. Anybody gets like nutty, you can give them a tap and correct for any arousal stuff like around the pool or in the pool. The e-collars should be fully waterproof if you're using good e-collars. And but they shouldn't be in the pool until you've done these exercises to where they can get into the pool and behave. Like, we don't take dogs with dog reactivity issues and put an e-collar on them and then go walk them around dogs. Right? I hope that makes sense, and I'm sure you get what I mean. Like, that's the hardest, worst thing you can do, because you're taking dogs that haven't had the arousal drained out of them or developed impulse control and putting them in the worst context. So that would be the same as like putting your guys in the pool and trying to correct them straight away.
Yeah.
Instead, do all this recall work, boom, 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 get them relaxed individually, then teach them how to be able to be in the pool together, and then correct individually for any kind of like if they start to get nutty, and recall them out of there. And I guarantee you'll have like amazing stuff. I can already see it in my mind, so what I can see in my mind, I know it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Easy. Santa says, and so it is. So my little elven companion.
Okay. We've
What's
got
next?
Question number 2. I think I just lost it. It comes from Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Knapp says, "Hi Sean and Laura, I'm really enjoying the show. The transformations and progressions are happening fast for me. I've recently downloaded all your podcasts and I'm catching up fast.
Wow.
So here's the question. Would it be unethical or inappropriate of me to use an e-collar on a client's dog if they have zero interest in using one themselves? I tried to explain the benefits before and during drop-off, but couldn't get an answer or even a good read on how she felt about the remote collar.
Yeah.
The doodle responds very well to the prong, but the e-collar is proving to be an awesome tool, especially for recall and heal. I'll
Yeah.
cross my fingers and hope to hear Laura read my question."
Oh, look at you.
Look at that, Adam! I made your Christmas dreams come true. I'm sure Adam has much bigger dreams than that.
Well, that might have been one of them. You were in his stocking.
I really am a stocking
You're
stuffer.
a stocking stuffer,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So I'm going to let you answer this, seeing as you deal with a lot of the client stuff that you have in the past, a lot of that.
And it's something we discussed a little bit before, so I'll be taking
Yeah.
words out of your
Yeah,
mouth
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But basically,
And I'll
Adam,
jump in if you need some help.
we know. That was a good time.
Merry Christmas.
So the reality is, if the owner says no to an e-collar, like I don't want my dog on it,
Yeah.
absolutely do not use the e-collar.
Yep.
0, 0, 0. Not even like, oh, let's just see how the dog does on it. Owner's wishes are this.
Yep.
It's up to you as the trainer to set up your business as such where if you want to just do e-collar stuff, you need to bring in clients that are fully versed. Like, you're not talking to them at the session about it and trying to talk them into it. And getting vague answers because they haven't even had time to process what this is or look into it further, or they're just like, they trust you, but they're like, okay,
They're
but I didn't come for
knowledgeable
this.
about the
Yeah.
tool, yeah.
So it's up to you to set that up better for your business if that's what you want. But at this point, you haven't done that. So if the owner is like, I have no interest in using that, just do the prong like we originally suggested or talked about, then that's what you do. Even if the tool is going to make them 100 times better, we know
Yeah.
it will, but it doesn't matter. Now, if the owner said, that's great, do whatever you need to do, but I can tell you for a fact we're not going to use the e-collar at home, then you can train the dog using the e-collar, no problem, and then just have to like do the stuff, the transfer with prong, and hope that some of that sticks at home, you know, especially with a lot of structure and all that stuff. But just know that like by them not keeping up the work, especially at the beginning, it's going to be tough to keep that work going. So my major advice to you would be to get yourself set up better, that your clients that walk in the door are all excited about e-collar.
How would you do that?
Make videos about
Yes,
e-collar training
yes.
and put them on your website, and you know, be really like outspoken about your tools so that when they walk in the door, you're not having to like,
Sell them.
hey, check this out, and
Yeah.
it's really great. And the coolest person in the world could be like, yeah, great dude, but I got a carpool to go pick up my kids. Like, you do your thing that we talked about, but I need more time to process this. So what we do with the videos is we give people time to process it before they show up. So then they're like, yes, this is what I want. So that's the big answer, is that you change your stuff, because it sounds like you're seeing great stuff with e-collar.
Yeah, and I think Adam's fairly new at this, if I'm not mistaken. So you probably don't have a ton of videos and a ton of stuff out. But like Laura's saying, that our website is and all of our videos are really geared towards educating people and giving them all the information so they can get a feel for what we do before they ever show up.
Yeah.
And so they pick us rather than us like having to say like, come on in, and then like selling them on tools.
Yeah.
They're like, I like what these guys are getting results wise, and I like, oh, they're using an e-collar and that's how they're getting those results. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So then they talk to us and they're like, yeah, I'm really down for that. And that's a very different client than the client that shows up who's got no experience with it, that you're now trying to educate on it. But like Laura says, their mind's somewhere else, or maybe they don't have enough information to feel comfortable to make that choice because they haven't sat through 3 hours of videos or something like that.
They just don't
Watching results is a very different thing than somebody saying, hey, look at this electronic thing and it's going to be great for your dog.
Your dog's gonna be great.
Right.
They're like,
it would scare the hell out of me if I didn't have experience with it. But if you watch videos, or if these clients can watch videos, they can have a very different perspective and feeling on that. So I echo everything Laura said. The last thing you would want to do is use a tool on a client, on a client's dog that they haven't okayed. But like, just to finish up this last part, you can sometimes use tools if the client okays it, like an e-collar, and maybe get some stuff, but the chances of it sticking, dogs are pretty savvy when they find out there's no enforcement, like recall, at a distance, and they're like, the first time they don't come, there's no correction, they're like, aha. Will probably, except for like really, really easy peasy dogs, will probably dissipate pretty quickly. So you probably won't get much bang for your buck by just using the collar and then having the owners not use it after that.
Probably not the greatest thing.
So good luck with all that, but like Laura said, like make some videos, buddy, and tell the story about what you do and the results you get and the tools you use to get them.
Yeah.
And then clients will show up in a very different space emotionally and preparation wise, and then you don't have to do any like, hey, what do you think about this? It'll help
Change
your
everything
business
for you.
and your success rate tremendously.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Thanks, bud.
Question number 3, the final question.
The final question.
This is from AJ. AJ says, hi, Sean and Laura.
Hey.
I've got a pet sitting client who's used the e-collar in the incorrect way, not as a tool, but as a correction device. I don't think she was taught the foundation training to the point that it should have been. The dog's a GSD who's very hyper because she stays in the garage all the time. She's also leash aggressive to other dogs. From what I understand, the e-collar gets used very high when she's in that state of aggression towards other dogs while walked. She has been to training boot camp and has a couple of other trainers. I went to walk her one day and found the e-collar remote on a very high number. After foundation work, would you introduce the e-collar any differently than the way it's supposed to be used?
That last part of the question I don't get, so I'm just
I think he's saying, like, besides for foundation work, is there any other thing that you do to like kind of restart the process?
Yeah, I mean, well, if the question is there how would I go about a dog that's been improperly e-collar trained? I would just start from scratch.
Start over, yeah.
Typically, I'd start from scratch and start working on foundation work.
Yeah.
But if that's the question. So AJ, this might be the first question. AJ's been around forever.
Yeah, we know him really well,
I think,
yeah.
I don't know if it's I think it's, I'm not sure if it's a male or female.
Oh.
I want to say AJ's a female, but
Yeah?
AJ, if you're a male, I'm sorry, but I think you're a female.
It's always tough with these. Let's see.
Anyways, okay, so if there was no foundation training done with the shepherd, then it's not unusual that if they're only using it for corrective stuff.
AJ's a girl.
Aha.
Girl. Boom. Got it. Got it.
Santa always knows.
Santa
If you're
does
naughty
know.
or nice, or boy or girl. So if there's no foundation work done, and this is why we're such big proponents of foundation work and mindset
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
is that you're dealing with the dog at its worst state, and then you're trying to correct it at its worst state. Which, what does that mean? The highest levels usually possible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if we've got dog reactivity and we haven't taught like a low-level e-collar heel and all the other behaviors that cause dogs to be calm and relaxed,
Yeah.
then you take a dog out on a walk. He's in his worst state. The only chance you have in heck or hell would be to try and go over that intensity with a lot of pressure, and that means you're going to be like skyrocketing high with the levels. Now, conversely, if you do foundation training and you teach a dog how to calmly heel, like if you watch, I'm sure you've watched a bunch of our videos, just like the ones we did with Rosie and Clyde, or even Ozzy, who was the big crazy doodle.
Yep.
None of those dogs were taken out and like, kabam, let's like be good around other dogs.
No.
All those dogs were taught e-collar heel in calm, quiet, serene environments
Yeah.
with low levels to get them, to calm down. I always get like that when we shoot too much water.
Yeah.
Calm and relax. And that way we've got a different mindset to work with when we do see dogs, and then we can typically use lower levels for correction. Now that doesn't mean that some dogs don't require higher levels for correction. So let me just try and be really clear, and I'll try and be really quick with this. So if the dog wasn't properly trained with foundation stuff and they're just using it for corrections, yes, the tendency is you're going to have to use really high levels, especially if this GSD is off the hook, off the chain, crazy. But that said, even with foundation work, like Ozzy is on a boss, right? So Ozzy had all of the foundation work, all of the stuff that we typically do, all of the easy breezy, low pressure stuff. But guess what? Ozzy didn't give a crap about e-collar pressure at all. So he would see a dog and you could correct him at 60, being a little like cussy, a little crass. I'm sorry, like, excuse my language on
Did
this.
you say F-U-C-K?
No, I said crap.
Oh.
Am I allowed to say that on here?
I think so,
It's,
yeah.
it's our show, right? So Ozzy had to get a bigger collar because he didn't care about the Educator Mini. He could be looking at a dog and you could correct him at 85 or 90, which sounds outrageous. Most dogs would like, wow, come out of their skin.
Yeah.
And he'd literally be like this. He'd look at it, I'll be him, look at a dog.
Yeah.
His neck would turn,
Strong
and then
guy.
he'd look back, where's another dog?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. So it
Also,
was,
did you talk, I'm sorry, I zoned out a little bit. Did
Yeah.
you talk about GSD fur issues?
No, I haven't, but that'll be a good thing to tack onto at the end. Let me tackle this part of it. So that's a really good point. So smart little elf. Anyways, but just I'm going to assume that stuff's good, and then we'll talk about the other part of this. So my point was that foundation work is what is your gateway to trying to not have to use such high levels, and if you don't, you have to typically. But even with foundation work, some dogs are going to be far less sensitive to e-collar pressure, and some dogs are going to be far more drivey. Like Polar Bear, her GSD she had, like he corrected extremely high for dog stuff. He loved dogs, but like if he was on a recall going towards a dog, you could hit him at 127 on a dog truck, and he'd vocalize,
And he'd
but
still
he'd
run.
still think about it, and he'd
Oh,
still be
be
like
running.
torn, like
I'd have to
ah.
like press and hold.
Yeah. So you're losing here.
No, I'm fine.
Give me a magazine.
It's going on.
Okay, so that's a good example of like a dog that was really properly trained, and it didn't matter because his drive was so high that the exchange, he's like 127 dog, man, that's a tough call. Most dogs are like 127 or a dog, like 127 makes a lot more sense. So anyways, that's a big part of that, making sure that you've done the proper foundation work. And then, I think I pretty much covered all of it. And just going back to your last part of it is if you are trying to do some work with that dog, then just start over from scratch, start with low level stuff, start at the beginning, and then just retrain the dog. mainly you got to get the arousal stuff out, and you get that out through low level stuff, through duration work, through all the different stuff that you always hear us talk about. And especially like if this dog's reactive, like you got to do e-collar heel in order, like, I'm not saying it's your responsibility, but I think it's like a daycare dog or something. Then, what was she saying? Not a daycare dog, but I don't think it was a client dog. It was something else. Sorry, AJ, I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place.
No, I'm just trying to remember what the context was. I don't think it felt like a client dog situation.
I think it was a walking or like something that was like, not like it's not like a training.
Yeah. So I don't know. Pet sitting, yeah. So it's not really a situation where it's your dog to train or your responsibility.
Yeah.
But if you were so inclined or you wanted to help the client, e-collar heel would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Done with low level stuff first, and then correcting for any arousal stuff. And then what the elves had to say about possible little issues with
Contact.
Dive in with that.
Yeah, so good. German Shepherds, let me check. Sure. German Shepherds and dogs with like thick fur can have contact issues. So especially if like it sounds like there's some careless stuff going on with the e-collar stuff in general. And what we see a lot with clients that come in that have careless, not that the clients are careless, but that there's been some careless kind of like stuff go on, like, oh, the e-collar they're just left in the garage, or they're like, dog's left in the garage, dog doesn't get this, so you've got maybe like, I can picture the client maybe just cinching the e-collar quickly, and it's not fitted right, it's not nestled in the fur right, it's nothing.
The right contact points.
Yeah, it doesn't get the right contact. So then, like, you got to dial up. I mean, I had a dog the other day that was this thick fur, one of those big white, beautiful, fluffy things, and it was like you know what I'm talking about? It looks like a white lion.
Samoy?
No, it was the
Great
one that
Pyrenees?
Yeah, Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
That's what it is. And I was trying to get contact, and like, I mean, I was like at 60 trying to get like a working level, and the dog didn't feel it at all because the fur is like this thick, you got to get through. So I had to really like pull back the fur, make sure the contact was right and all that stuff. And then the dog's won like a 7 out of 100, right? So that might be an issue too with the reason why the collar's so high is because they're just slapping the e-collar on, not nestling, not doing it snug enough or anything like that. And then the dog's just not feeling it and feels maybe like a 50, it feels like a 10 on the dog. So they're just getting frustrated.
Yeah.
So that's another.
Yeah, so if you have contact issues, like it changes absolutely. Like the dog may not be feeling much, but the levels look like, oh my God. Now if the dog's yelping and screaming or something like that, then you're having the contact's not the problem, the training's the problem. Yeah. So you'll have to suss that out and figure out what is going on there, AJ. Let us know. Hit us up and tell us what the situation was, what you found out. We're always curious, or I'm always curious about like the resolution of a lot of these things.
Yeah, me too. We just never hear
stories that come along.
The only thing, Tara Isaacson, she sent me an update on her dog.
Yeah,
and I have it
Scout.
set. I have Scout ready in my editing machine with the before and after. But Tara, if you're listening, I sent you an email and said that the file didn't work for me. So if you're watching now, Tara, I want to see the after, and I know a lot of people would too. Because
so you couldn't see it?
I couldn't get it. That didn't work
Not
in
formatted?
Dropbox, so I think it was the wrong format. So if you can email me, Tara, and because I'd love to see it, even if I don't put it out, I just would like to see it. So
send it to us so we can. I mean, it'd be great for us to make a little something.
Oh yeah, it's
show
ready. We were gonna do like a special like Tara update, but I haven't heard back, so maybe the holidays got away, or maybe didn't get my email. So,
or maybe you're dead to her.
it's possible. Tara, I don't think it's true.
Come back.
We're still friends on Facebook, so.
Well.
All right, guys, we're gonna jump off now.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
New Year's is we see them before New Year's or after?
After.
After.
Yeah.
So have a happy New Year's. Be safe, everybody.
Please be safe.
Safe and sane. And thanks for all the support. We love you guys so much.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And thanks for putting up with all of our shenanigans. We'll see you guys real soon, all right?
All right.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.